Good morning. Today's topic is role of independent system operator in pool markets. In the last lecture, we have discussed about the different types of markets, and we have seen a very clear distinguishing between UK markets and Nordic markets. UK market is an absolute pool market, whereas Nordic market is an open access market. It used to have both bilateral transactions and also the Nord pool. And the two pools which were there in UK and Nordic markets were a little bit different. One was a single auction market, the other one was a double auction pool. So in today's class, we will discuss about the pool operations and in particular the functions of ISO in a pool operation, in a pool market. Having said this, I will start with the functions of ISO. So I hope that by the end of this video lecture, you will be able to list the responsibilities of ISO and in particular the activities of ISO in a pool market on a time scale. So I'll start with the responsibilities and we'll have a quick review of ancillary services which will be offered by the ISO, and also we'll finally list the activities on a time scale, and we'll close with the information which will be provided in the bids by the GENCOs. Now, starting with the responsibilities of ISO in the pool markets, you know that the responsibilities, it starts with the receiving of the bids from the suppliers. Most of the times I am ignoring buyers, so I will take only the bids from the suppliers, and once I receive the bids, then automatically I'll do the simulations and I will finalize both MCP and also the unit commitments. Both will be finalized. Once these two are finalized, then I will ensure that the same information is passed on to the GENCOs and they will be ready for the delivery. Once the delivery starts on the scheduled day, then I will ensure that there is a system security, and if there is any congestion, I will manage that congestion, and if at all, if it is any requirement of ancillary services, then I will be providing ancillary services. These will be in real time, whereas these things will be before the real time. Later on, we will see how these activities are listed on a time scale. But these are the principal responsibilities of ISO in a pool market. Having said this, let's take a quick look, because in the last slide itself we have mentioned that we will be providing ancillary services. Now take a quick look about the ancillary services, because these are the activities which are needed to support the transmission system, and these to be offered by independent system operator to anyone who requests these services. These will help in ensuring the reliability of the system by offering a required degree of quality and safety. So what are the principal ancillary services? One is frequency and P regulation. So regulation of frequency and tie line flows, and voltage and reactive power control. And the next one is ensuring the system stability and maintaining the reserves in case of any sudden dropouts of the generators or sudden shutting down of the generators. You need to maintain reserves. And finally, you should maintain the power quality, which means that you should control or if possible completely remove the power harmonics. So these are the services which can be requested by the different participants. An ISO must be capable of providing these services during the transmission or the scheduled delivery. Now we will have a quick look about all these activities. We have mentioned earlier 6 activities. We'll try to keep them on a time scale. So on a time scale starting from 1 day ahead of actual operation to real time operation, I'll assume that it is day ahead market. I'll assume it as a day ahead market. So I do have now 3 options: real time, the time when I am supposed to deliver the electricity; before real time; Since it is day ahead market, I'll take it as 24 hours ahead. Okay. And this is after real time. So these three cases, I will classify the activities. Before real time, which means 24 hours ahead, real time, and after real time. Okay. So these three cases which we will discuss now. The first case is 24 hours ahead, which means before real time. What are the activities of ISO? The first thing is he carries out a load forecast to determine the aggregate hourly load demand. Okay. So and once he identifies the demand, he receives bids from the GENCOs. These bids, they do contain lots of information, right? The information varies from pricing, volume, ramp rates, and shutdown times, turn-on times, etc. So all information will be passed on by the GENCOs to the independent system operator so that he can properly schedule the unit commitments. So this is the case for single auction markets. Bids will be received from the GENCOs, whereas demand will be forecasted. Single auction market, bids from GENCOs, supply bids, whereas demand is forecasted. But whereas in a double auction market, both supply and demand bids will be collected. Okay. So in this case, I have mentioned only for single auction market, but if it is a double auction market, both the bids are to be collected. Okay. And once these are collected, so immediately what you do is nothing but you will formulate the nodal marginal costs and congestion transmission prices. So transmission prices and any ancillary service prices, etc. you will be formulating, and you will perform some sort of simulations, and then you will finalize the bids and MCP. The same will be informed to the GENCOs. So these jobs will be done by independent system operator ahead of the market. Now in real time, what he does, he dispatches the generation and load, isn't it? And at the same time, he procures and provides for system services, such as we have listed down 6 ancillary services. So all the 6 ancillary services, 5 or 6 different types of ancillary services, they will be provided in real time to the people who have requested those services. After real time, what he does, because he is responsible, because the GENCOs have no direct contact with the buyers, so it is the responsibility of independent system operator to finalize the settlements. So first of all, he calculates the settlements, nodal prices of energy, and transmission congestion surcharges. These settlements will include marginal fuel costs, capacity cost, startup cost, congestion transmission charges, network service charges, ancillary service payments. So all these type of things all will be included. Whatever services which you are providing them, for all these things you will be charging the buyers. So all things will be collected, and then these will be dispatched based upon the services which have been provided. So now we have seen that there are 3. One is 24 hours ahead activity, collection of bids, finalizing MCP and informing the same. And next is during the real-time activities, you dispatch generation and load and provide other services, what we call them as ancillary services. After real time, you do the settlements, financial settlements, which include all these prices. Now the question is, 24 hours before the real time, you are collecting some bids, right? Assuming that it is a single auction market where GENCOs are only providing the bids. So I'll write here, assume a single auction market. So bids are from GENCOs only, right? So what information will be there in the bids? So these information which is provided in the bids, it varies from different countries to different states. It depends upon the understanding between the ISOs and the GENCOs. and in particular it will be very clearly mentioned in the pool markets. See, the bid submitted by GenCos can include different levels of information. Here, for example, we have taken different pool markets which are there in USA. The GenCos here, they bid for energy prices, startup costs, minimum and maximum generation levels. Whereas we have taken in PJM, they will be providing some other information. So like that, these are few examples of different markets where the information provided by the GenCos will be varying. On the whole, I have listed all these things. These are the different types of markets, and this is the information which is received. In some markets, unit commitment information is also passed, and which means ISO will take care of unit commitment. Whereas in some markets, unit commitment will be taken care by the GenCos itself. So I hope that now you are able to understand the responsibilities of ISO in pool markets, and I hope that you are able to list the activities of ISO in a pool market based on a time scale. And this is the lecture level questions.